And we are live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Culture Attack Podcast, episode number 5. Back at it again. And if you'd be so kind to follow the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and all that good stuff, I really appreciate it. And Drew will appreciate it. How's it going, Drew?
It's going. I'm here. I'm relaxed. Work tomorrow, and then afterwards, I have a few days off. I'm off 4th of July. So yeah, it's also going to be the missus. It's also going to be the missus' birthday. She was born on 4th of July, like Tom Cruise movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm doing pretty good. Relaxed. A little hungry. Oh, actually, I'm more thirsty than hungry, but I'm all right. I'm pretty good.
Cool. Yeah, I'm happy early birthday to the missus there.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, I actually have a friend of mine. Her birthday's on the 4th as well, so it's like small world. Hey, Jesus, like the more expansive the world gets, like the much smaller it gets, as you find out people have a lot of same birthdays. It's wild. But birthdays aside, and I love me a good threat sledger cake. But that aside, we got a doozy of a show, and our apologies for not doing the show earlier. But this month of June has been pretty wild. But we are here in the nick of time. It's still June. It's the 30th. It's the 30th of June, 2024. It's the last day of June, so to speak, and right after that, right in July. And Jesus Christ, time flies. Like time flies, but we have a lot to discuss. And by the way, you can follow me on Twitter, X at Mr. Ruben Crime, and you can follow my partner in crime, Drew Yari, at DY Experience. And he also has a podcast called The Experience every Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite on the Wrestling Soup Discord. So definitely check that out if you may. And yeah. Oh, and TikTok. That is where we have all the clips. And YouTube. YouTube is where you can check us out at Culture Attack. We have a lot of the clips of the show on there. The clip of I forgot to tell you this, but the clip of Lizzo reacting to South Park roasting her got a good amount of views last time I checked, because I post stuff. And I check once in a while, but it's been so busy this past month. I haven't been able to check, but one day I checked. I think it was this week, and it had pretty good views. So that I guess because Lizzo and all that in South Park, but yeah, that clip did pretty well, did good numbers. So if you guys listening to this, be ever so kind to check out our YouTube channel for the Culture Attack Podcast, and as well as the TikTok, if you may. But enough of the shilling, enough of the channel plugs and all that. We got some things to talk about.
Okay.
So the boys. We're gonna talk about that the boys. Which the cover art of our podcast is basically Homelander versus Butcher. So that's where the
fucking diabolical.
Yep. But yeah, this season so far, man, has been just that.
Holy fuck! That was diabolical.
It was indeed diabolical. Uh, it was some messed up stuff. Uh, the first 4 episodes, I'm just like, okay, a lot of gore, a lot of uh, just butt ass nakedness, if
No,
you want to call it that. Um, and other stuff we'll discuss. But overall, what are your thoughts of this season of The Boys so far?
I'm enjoying it. I mean, I love the boys. This season's just nuts. I mean, it seems like every season they just try to top themselves on how nutty they can be. Uh, like I don't even like I think I was rewatching some clips from the first season, and the first season wasn't even that nuts. There was some pretty fucked up shit that happened. With Homelander allowing the plane to crash and stuff like that. But like each season, it's just like they have to top themselves with how gory and how over the top violent they can be. And sometimes it just like sometimes I think it's done for shock value, and then sometimes it seems warranted. But I mean, I still enjoy it. Um, and just to kind of get it out of the way, last season they had probably the grossest sex scene I've ever seen in my life, with them kind of taking a shot at Marvel not being able to do the Ant-Man thing with Thanos.
Yeah,
This season was probably worse.
yeah,
At least I can at least watch the scene from last season. This season, I'm like, no, I'm not watching that ever again. And I told Betty about it because she watched the first, I think just the first episode with me for the new season, and
yeah.
she's seen clips. I told her what happened in episode 2, and she was like, "Oh no, why?" And just I don't know. As soon as they were walking up to the door, and I hear, "Oh," I went, "Oh my god, what's gonna happen?" And
Yep.
sure enough, and yeah.
Yep.
So I don't need to see that scene ever again. And I'm good on that scene. Um,
Yeah, just the only clue, because it's like very explicit on here for the YouTubes, but let's just say that's one way
Human
to get pink
Centipede.
eye. Yeah, human centipede, and that's one way to get pink eye. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yep. So
Yep.
moving on from that. This season, a lot of the like I'm pretty sure we're going to get into this conversation about like how the season's been lowly rated. A lot of the like political stuff has been very on the nose, and I get why, because it's almost like coincidental because like this season was about Homelander on trial, and another guy was on trial, a very famous guy. I'm pretty sure you can figure out who that is.
Yeah,
Um,
we can do the maths. Yeah.
put two and two together,
Mhm.
and it's very on the nose. I think that works. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does. Like with the character of Firecracker, where she's pretty much like she's the antithesis of like the QAnon warrior, where
Yeah.
she's about oh, there's pedophiles in every street, and Starlight's a baby raper and blah blah blah. And then there's that episode where they found out that she had sex with a 15-year-old boy, and
Yep.
then she decides to post it anyway and admits to it, and the fucking Republican crowd or the firecracker Homelander crowd forgave her anyway, which is just like, oh, you mean like in real life?
Hmm.
Like that shit got in real life. Which that actress who plays her, she's gay.
Didn't know
Like
that.
she's actually lesbian. So, and she even said like, it actually makes sense for me to play this character because
Yeah.
I'm a lesbian, so I can have fun just being this really awful, idiotic person. Kind of like with Stormfront. Like the actress who played Stormfront is Jewish.
Yeah.
Aya Cash. Again, she played a Nazi. So,
Yeah.
a lot going on in this season. With the character of Sage, who I think is I don't know. She's kind of a bitchy character, but she's cool at the same time.
Yeah, she
Um,
has her let's just say me and her in the bedroom.
ooh, ooh,
I can see that.
with
I'm just saying.
with the fucking lobotomy. There you go.
That was seriously effed up. Like I cringed.
that was hard to watch. Like, and I was like seeing a bunch of other fucked up shit on this season. That scene made me go, "Oh my god, I'm glad I didn't eat anything during this episode because there's a lot going on." And there's again Homelander. What else can we say about Homelander? Like, he went from being unpredictable to now he's just terrifying.
Yeah,
Like,
he's like the gloves are off
he
metaphorically,
doesn't.
even though he still has his gloves. But more metaphorically, the gloves are off. Like he's just. I think in season 5, it's gonna get even worse. And I say
Yeah.
that as it started pouring outside. Like it's gonna get worse. But season 4, you're starting to see him just not giving a fuck, killing.
And it's like it's a shame that Anthony Starr won't get nominated for like an Emmy because he's just that good. Like he is so good in this role. And just episode 4 was kind of like showing you, hey, here's his Emmy. Here's the Emmy episode. You can just see him act. And it was just horrifying. Like even like the sounds, like the sound of the elevator was terrifying.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know what was going to happen. And it's just Homelander holding an ice cream cake and just pretending to be nice, pretending to be friendly to everybody. Like, hey, can you get some forks for the ice cream, please? Come on, dig in. It's about to melt. and then he starts with, hey, come here real quick. I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna happen.
Yep.
And saying, hey, you remember when you used to like fillet my skin to see if it didn't burn? Well, it didn't burn it, but it still hurt like hell. And I'm gonna have you stand in here while I set you on fire. No, you're gonna come in here, or else I'll throw your family in there. So come in here. And making the other guy jerk off in front of everybody while Homelander just laughs like a fucking hyena. that was uncomfortable. Like,
they made the Hawk Tua girl. They like blended that together. Yeah, I know. I think I sent you that on Instagram, I believe.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, that was funny.
That I don't know. That scene was uncomfortable, and then he just blows his dick off. Yeah. And at the end of the episode, like they don't show him killing everybody in the scene. Like he, spoilers, gets on the elevator covered in blood and guts.
Yeah,
and it's kind of reminiscent of season 2 when he kills that entire room of guards and he comes out of the cabin just covered in blood. It's like, Jesus, what happened? Like, what happened in that cabin? And I like that they didn't show us what happened because it's even more horrifying in your mind what he did to these people. And then he leaves that doctor, locked in that room to just see everything. And it's just like, Jesus Christ.
That was pretty gnarly, yeah.
And again, I like some of the references of just them kind of taking their shots at Marvel, which I just think it's funny. Like I'm a Marvel guy, but I still think it's funny. Like the most. Did you see episode 5?
Yes, I did.
Okay, when they're like having their own like Comic-Con or is it D23, but it's V52, and they're like, yeah, the lineup for phases 7 through 19.
Yeah, I chuckled at that.
I'm like, oh come on. Like, all right, I get it. And just like Will Ferrell showing up to do like a fucking what is it, Blind Spot or Blindside type movie with
A-Train.
That was so funny. I'm like, you got Will Ferrell to be in The Boys. That is so cool.
I mean, it's Amazon. They gave him a good enough like payday to do that.
God, look at Homelander with that cake. Oof.
Yeah. Images that precede unfortunate events.
Can you imagine being the employee that had to call into work on that day?
Yeah. No hazard pay.
It's like, and Homelander just shows up to your house anyway. Hey, Drew.
Yeah.
Were you supposed to show up to work today? It's like, dude, I've never even met you. Like, why are you gonna kill me? Oh, nothing. You remember that one time you beat me at tic-tac-toe? Fuck! Homelander's that petty.
Yeah, he is. He
even says straight up on the show, I guess I am that petty. It's like, hey, Ruben, you and me are good, right?
We're good.
You remember that one time, Ruben, when I wanted more pistachios and you ate the last pistachio?
Oh fuck.
I'm gonna laser off your beard and your face.
Oh no. I mean, I guess that would be a good way to go out. I guess
But
just the bottom jaw just lasered off. I guess that's good way to go. Good way to
I
go
mean,
out. I guess.
he's good. And it's just the most recent episode. Yeah, they're being silly, but I still enjoyed it with the fucking the flying beat up sheep and
Yeah.
the deadly chickens. Which I don't know. Frenchie to me had the best line of the show when he's like, "This man is in no condition to fuck a sheep."
Yeah, that was a phenomenal line. That
It
he
it
delivered
was
it so perfectly.
it was hilarious because he said it with so much conviction.
Yeah.
Because like that could have just been a throwaway line of like, really, he's gonna fuck a sheep, but like he said it to where it's just like either he's seen it happen or he's done it himself.
Yeah. Which
Dude,
Frenchie I mean we gotta talk about Frenchie for a second.
oh,
Um I was just like, bro, like you got Kimiko who's first of all, she's a soup, number one. She's like practically invincible. Uh, she's Japanese. Number two, she's hot,
hmm
and she got the the mute thing going, which um, you know, at first I was like, come on, like talk, say something, but now I'm like, yo, that makes her more mysterious, and I don't know, even more hotter. And then when Frenchie was with Colin, I was like, what? That just threw me off of left field, and
right.
then um and then Kimiko was like she was just making jokes like about him and Colin and all that. I was just during like she was like, can you get drunk on energy drinks? I don't know, maybe I guess, but she had like a bunch of no, she had beers. She had beers. She had a whole bunch of beers. It's like, oh
Well,
no,
aren't there? Doesn't Mountain Dew have like energy alcohol drinks?
yeah,
I think.
they got energy drinks and they got they even got a like a alcoholic version of that, which energy drinks, alcohol. I guess people love to live dangerously, but yeah,
That seems like a
that's
bad combination.
yeah, because you got energy drinks that's a upper, alcohol's a downer, kind of like not good. Not
Hmm.
good, but yeah, she was that scene was pretty funny. She was drunk and telling him, "Listen, if you wanna fuck him, Frenchie to Colin, if you wanna fuck him, do it." I'm not making a scene justice, but it was funny. But I'm like, dude, like she's hot. The
Yeah.
chick is fucking hot. Like, listen, yes, she's just a soup. Yes, she's you know not unhinged, but it's like basically will kill you if you do anything sideways. But it's just like I don't know that was I guess I was just shoehorned in unless that was in the comics. I don't know, but to me that
Well,
was kind of shoehorned in.
Frenchie hinted at him being bisexual in the past few seasons,
Okay.
so like when they did that, at first it kind of threw me off. I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot Frenchie's like bisexual, supposedly. So I don't
I
know.
mean trisexual because if he mentioned that sheep lines if he delivered that sheep line so convincingly that lets me think no. But
Frenchie, um, and also my man, Mother's Milk,
yeah,
um, holding it down. Which I so like people honestly have thought that Lonzo was it Laz Alonso has been recast,
I
and
thought so too.
I actually found something out about him, and I was kind of like shocked when I heard it. He actually has cancer.
Really?
Yeah, he has cancer. I mean, he's kind of kept it on the DL. Um, I mean, it's kind of a similar situation to Chadwick, where he came out on that he did like an Instagram thing, and he just looked like fucking disheveled and skinny as fuck.
Yeah.
And me and everybody else was like, either he's losing weight for a role or something's up with him. And then, unfortunately, we had to find out the hard way. So with Laz Alonso, we found out I mean, I don't want to say just in time, but we found out before anything else bad could happen. But yeah, he has cancer. That's why he's lost so much weight for the in this season. I mean, I kind of threw it up to like, I think that this season takes place 6 months after the last season.
Yeah.
So I kind of looked at it as like, oh, well, maybe mother's milk lost weight or whatever. I don't fucking know. But yeah, he just come find out Laz Alonso has cancer, which was unfortunate. I mean, but he's obviously dealing with it.
Yeah, he's dealing with it pretty well. Yeah, but he's dope. Like his performance on The Boys has been pretty phenomenal. He definitely compliments Butcher. He's like that moral compass because yeah, like Butcher unhinged, like yeah. That would be stuff of nightmares, and we got a glimpse of that when he had the temp V. And now that's the main story. That's one of the stories in this season, that he's dying due to taking so much of the temp V, and he has this sting inside him, and that thing killed Ezekiel, the Mr. Fantastic dude, and that came into play when Butcher let go of this rabbit that was in a lab in this scene, and this thing came out of it, killed it, killed its host, came out of the bunny rabbit, and Butcher, killed the thing before it can get out. And that was kind of, little humanizing. I mean, he's like Mother's Milk said, he's fucked up, but he's not evil.
You a motherfucker with a heart, as he said.
Absolutely. And someone that we got to talk about. We got to talk about. We got to talk about Victoria Newman.
Yes,
very quickly. Yeah. Let's just say she can give me head and explode. Just pop my head off. No matter, I don't care how that sounded. She can get it. She can get it. I like her. Like a very dope addition to the to the cast. She was in season 3. I caught back on season 3, and the fact that she's soup, just popping people's heads off, pretty gnarly. And
she's dating Jack Quaid in real life. That's an interesting comment.
That
I see her. I see her because like I usually watch reactions for like episodes of The Boys of like different people on YouTube, and somebody had said that she looks like she could like, or not looks like, but they were like, I want her to be Talia al Ghul.
I can see that.
One of the Batman movies, more so like the James Gunn, universe. I'm like, yes, give me that right now, because I don't know, she's just
yeah.
Like when fucking Starlight punched her in the face and she just got up and smiled, I went, oh man, I don't.
You're I'm trying to fight these urges, my brother.
And then my dick explodes. Ah!
Yeah.
but no. Huey, let's talk about Huey for a sec. Huey has had one of the better arcs on this season.
Yeah.
Poor Huey. They just torture him. He loses Robin at the beginning of the season, and everything else happens to him. And just this season, his mom comes back, which originally I wasn't feeling it when the mom came back. So I'm like, okay, they need to make me buy into it, because it just seems like it's going in the more generic case of like, I left you because of blah blah blah. Like they actually did something more realistic where she was like, I had postpartum depression. And she's like, oh, okay. Like,
Yep.
okay, like you got me. And, you know, the stuff going on with his dad, Simon Pegg, who's, a good actor. And it seemed like he was kind of, I don't want to say wasted on this show, but it's just like you didn't really give him a lot to do
Yeah.
other than to just say, Huey, that's pretty much it.
Pretty much.
This
Yeah.
season, he has a stroke, and, the last episode was just a very, very devastating, a very emotionally devastating episode. And he actually got to act on that episode. And, not gonna lie, I shed a tear or two,
Yeah.
during.
Good performance on his part, and yeah, Simon Pegg is the Mission Impossible faithful, so it was nice seeing him here. Like, it was a nice surprise seeing, because I was like, we didn't get to see him act, but we was able to see him act in this episode, for sure. And yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen, because oof, just the Compound V, like Butcher warned Huey to not, not to give it to, not to give it to his dad, but you're trying to save your dad, and it's really, devastating what Huey's going through as a character. So you kind of understand his motivations, but still, a lot of people died in gruesome ways, and again, more effed up stuff happened in this episode as well. I'm just like, wow, just wow.
Yeah, and just that there's something else I was going to mention. Oh yeah, the A Train, like A Train. I'm worried for him. Like I'm very worried for him, and over the course of the past series, especially this season, like he has done a complete turnaround. Like he went from being just like this kind of tragic character to being a complete dick.
Yep.
And now you like him because he wants to do right. And
Yep.
Him and Huey made up. Like, he told Huey, I thought you were gonna tell me to go fuck myself. And he was like, I was, but you know what? We're good. And they shook hands, and he, ran literally. And
Ran. Yep.
I'm just like, and then just his brother telling his kids, stay away from your uncle. And I'm like, I have a feeling things are going to end well for A Train at the end of the season. Like I'm legit kind of scared for him.
He's gonna get his redemption arc, but I really think he's gonna get killed off this season. Just
right.
If he were to survive this season, I'll be surprised. It's just it's like he's on the third rail, like he's hovering on the third rail. So he's gonna get his redemption arc, he's gonna turn, and then he's gonna get homelandered.
Oh man, I have a feeling there's going to be like a big fight where A Train gets some shots in at Homelander, but in the end, Homelander just like rips his spine out or whatever. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
I don't know. I like every episode I see A Train just have this look on his face, like, I got to do the right thing. I'm just like, oh god, please. Like I have a feeling it's not going to end well for old A Train. We have 3 more episodes to go, so
Yeah.
we'll say Butcher for last because there's like a few more other characters. Who else? Oh, God, who are some other characters that we haven't talked about? Yeah, Deep is Deep. He's always going to be the Deep. He's a dude. He's cringe. He's a douchebag.
Yeah, he's a bit cringe. There's a Twitter account that has deep thoughts with the deep. And that was pretty fun. I like that. That was
funny.
Hilarious.
He's good.
Yeah.
Annie. You know what? Just like, I honestly feel bad for the actress that she gets a lot of the flack she does because of her look. And granted, I don't know what she did to her face. I don't know, like maybe she had a surgery that went wrong. it's just, again, it's just, we kind of said, I don't want to spend too much time on this topic, but it's just like,
Yeah.
we've kind of talked about this, again and again, where it's just like, who's telling these women that they're not pretty? Like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, again, I think Erin Moriarty, that's the actress's name. I think she's done a great job in this role. She's very likable, and you want to root for her. I like the fact in this season, like, everybody's kind of a gray area person, even the heroes. Like Annie, you're seeing stuff about her come out. Stuff about her that is going to paint her in a bad light. Like the stuff with Firecracker, where you find out that they were in pageants together, and she did mean girl shit. And
Yeah.
Annie even owned up to it. And a lot of this is about her, her humanity being used against her. So I like when they do stuff like that. But yeah, I honestly feel bad for the hate she gets. Like, nobody should have to go through that ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree, but it just goes to show that when you're in that realm in Hollywood, that it really, it really, uh, like it really shows you kind of the depths that people essentially, go to. And I don't know who told her that she needed plastic surgery, but she didn't. I remember her from the earlier seasons of The Boys to now, and I'm like, what happened? And she's not a bad actress, but she she was, fantastic looking before, the surgery. It's like she didn't need it. So I don't know who told her to do that. Maybe it was like her agent or publicist. I don't know who, but just one big fat L, because I notice one thing in Hollywood is that they hate beauty,
Right. Natural beauty.
natural beauty, and they'll try to tell, and not only just with these actresses, but with regular people. And they'll go get plastic surgery, they go get the lip fillers and all these things, and it's just not, aesthetically, like it's not proportionate to to your face. It doesn't look right, it doesn't look natural. It's hideous. And that's how a lot of times Hollywood gets a lot of these young women, to just destroy their bodies, just to look, quote unquote, beautiful. In reality, they were beautiful beforehand. But yeah, I it's just a glaring fact that you can't ignore that. But it's a shame, because
Right.
she seems pretty sweet. Just, uh pretty, just all around, solid actress. But yeah, just not a good look on, the surgery and all that.
Right. And just and also the character Ryan, who, he's one of the better characters on the show, because you feel bad for him, because he has these two very bad father figures to choose from. He has Homelander, who's his actual dad, and he has Butcher, who, Butcher means well in some aspects, but
Yeah.
Butcher, at the end of the day, he's willing to do whatever it takes,
Yep.
even if it's at the cost of his own team. Um, I was kind of thrown off by Ryan at first, because like he looks like a grown up. He kind of looks like he's maybe 13 or 14, but
Hmm.
he's still kind of using the voice, and he's trying to talk like someone going through puberty. I'm like, okay, I'm a little thrown off by this, but over time, I'm like, okay, I'm fine with it. Like you feel bad for the kid, you really do. Like, he so badly wants Homelander to love him and to be that father figure that he needs, but he also is loyal to Butcher, because Butcher was married to his mom, and Butcher did care about him, and then they had that thing where Butcher kind of just said, buzz off. And then they had that nice scene where Butcher was like, I didn't mean what I said. And, he, at first he wanted to, drug him, with the cookie, but then he realized, I can't do this. This isn't right. And also Jeffrey Dean Morgan, um, I don't know if you're thinking what I'm thinking about him,
What you
but
thinking?
I'm convinced, especially after the last episode, I think he's just a figment of Butcher's imagination. Like because Butcher was seeing his ex-wife, he was seeing Becca, and Becca was the essentially the good angel, the
Yeah.
angel on, or not good angel, but yeah, angel on his shoulder,
Yeah,
telling him to do the right thing. I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character is the devil on the shoulder.
I
Like,
believe that too. I believe that.
because at the end of the last episode, him and Jeffrey Dean Morgan are talking to that doctor where he like sawed his legs off or whatever, and Butcher's saying, we're gonna, do blah blah blah, and you just see the doctor kind of glance over to the corner and just kind of have this look like, what the fuck? So I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely inside Butcher's head, because you never see him interact with anyone else except for Butcher.
Never, never.
No, so he plays into the darkness and of Butcher, whereas Becca played into the light of Butcher. So again, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's great and everything, so I think he's great on this show. And then Butcher, of course, just out of control. He's just out of control. Like the last season, it's like, dude, you're really gonna get a lot of people in trouble. Like, you're granted, sometimes you have a conscience call and you're like, I can't do it. But you are willing to do anything it takes to get what you want, even if it means putting your own friends in danger. And granted, he saved Huey's life from taking more, compound V, or was it temporary V or whatever.
Yeah.
So he it's like motherfucker with a heart. That's what Mother's Milk said. But yeah, he's doing a little bit too much in this season. And after the last episode, you're like, oh boy, like, what's going to happen here?
Yeah. Yeah, overall, the season for me, like, it's very entertaining. It's very entertaining, and I'm intrigued to see what other, what else happens, leading up to the finale. And like, I'm fans of Kimiko. I'm fans of course, Homelander, Mother's Milk. Like, each character, has their purpose. They're not one dimensional. Like, they're very, like you mentioned earlier, gray area.
Right. Especially this season.
Yeah, especially because, and it's kind of contrast to real life, that there isn't, there's no such thing as just black and white. There's a lot of gray area when it comes to people, nuance. And as far as like the whole, well, them making fun of Marvel, hilarious. That's that they're shot, them having phases, 4 through 19 or whatever. Like, that was funny. And then their whatchamacallit, their diversity. Like, they had A-Train, Black Noir, and what's her name? Sage, yeah. Like,
Black at it.
Yeah, Black Ad. Yeah, that was just, again, another shot at Disney.
Yeah, go woke, go yoke.
Yep. Yeah, that oh god.
That was just like, and then you see like the random black guy in the audience just go, "The fuck is this shit?"
Yeah, when they introduced like that scene where, oh well, if you're a white, if you're someone that's white watching a movie, certain scenes you'll see, oh, top secret files. But if you're black, there's a 40 ounce or whatever. Like,
It's was it cognac?
Cognac. Yeah.
So that was actually, originally they wanted product placement in The Boys, and Eric Kripke was like, "No, I'm not doing that."
Yeah.
So they actually wrote that into the show as a joke.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you were going to cover this. So, like, people are just now realizing what The Boys is actually about.
Yeah.
Like that small, I don't want to say small, but that audience that, it was like fuck Disney, fuck woke Marvel, blah blah blah. Homelander's awesome. And then this season is when they realize, wait, it's like that scene in Euphoria. Is this fucking play about us?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like people have now realized. Like I'm not a political guy, but it's just like I knew from the get go what the show was about, and for people to be like fuck woke Disney, fuck woke Marvel, they realize that The Boys is probably the wokest show that you'll ever watch.
Yeah, it's pretty woke. It's
like
really woke.
It's kind of a feminist show in some aspects. Like the female characters, I think, are well written. Homelander represents that crowd that sees someone who is clearly the villain as the hero, and even when he does heinous, villainous acts, they still see him as the hero.
Yeah, he killed someone in broad daylight, and he was cheered, and it was like,
Yep.
All right, yeah, yeah. Like, I guess they still love me, even though I killed someone. The dude threw like a bottle, or whatever, at his son. I mean, I get it, but you don't laser his head off. So to me, it's like a representation. Is representation of a lot of these celebrities, political figures, etc., that known to do horrible things, and they still get cheered because of the machine behind them. Like no matter what, the machine will always be behind them. Kind of like with Disney, kind of like with politics, entertainment, and the like. And no matter what, they'll still have that. They'll still have that good perception, even though the other half of the world sees Homelander for who he is, just a villain, a tyrant. So I'm overall enjoying the show. Like I know what the show is trying to do, but I'm enjoying it for what it is, because sometimes you gotta have a little bit of you gotta have a little bit of entertainment. Like even though what's going on, just take it what it is. But if it's bad, if it gets out of hand, in that direction, I'll definitely talk about it. But it's nothing too offensive. It's just what's going on in the world. Maybe twisted, flipped upside down. But yeah, overall, like it's an enjoyable show. For what it is.
Which kind of makes me glad that it's ending after 5, because you can kind of already see the cracks. And after this season, like you kind of see everybody's story kind of coming to a close. Like you see Huey's journey coming to a close. You see A-Train's journey coming to a close. Like, what's going to happen with Kamiko? What's going to happen with Frenchie? Like it almost seems like that's going to end before the season, or maybe next season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how much more can you do? Like, what else can you do? Like the main goal on the arch of the two the biggest goals for this show is take down Vought and take down Homelander. And it's like, how many more swings are you going to take at that? Like, I think 5 is the perfect way to go. And to their credit, they're still going to keep making shows, because they're going to do more Gen V, which I like. Which I thought Gen V was great. So sad that my boy, Chance, he's unfortunately passed away.
Yeah.
He was, I think he was one of my favorite actors on that show.
Yeah.
And then they're doing a Boys Mexico, which I'm like, that could be intriguing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, as long as I keep writing well-written shows, I just hope it doesn't end up like Walking Dead, where it's like, fuck, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's my worry.
Yeah, and I know Jeffrey Dean Morgan is in The Boys, so that that correlation with The Walking Dead.
And I mean, speaking of correlation, Supernatural. Eric Kripke wrote Supernatural, and next season, allegedly, Jared Padalecki is going to be in season 5. And he was in Supernatural. He was, him and Jensen Ackles were the main stars, and Jensen Ackles was, Soldier Boy.
Yep.
He didn't exactly die, So
Yeah.
there's a possibility they can bring back Soldier Boy and do that supernatural reunion, which could break the internet, as the kids would say. So
Yes.
I'm
We
here
must
for it.
break it. We must break it. Yeah. Yeah. We went we went in depth with the boys, but it's cool.
It's the way to go.
Yeah. 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 I'm excited. The next episode is going to come out on the 4th of July. So,
Yay, America.
yep. So right before it comes out on at midnight on the 4th.
At midnight?
Like, does it come out on the 4th, but at midnight, or like during, like, because normally I'll just watch like a few days after.
It usually comes out at 2 in the morning
Okay.
Central Time. So I think for you that'd be like what, 3 in the morning?
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, unless they're gonna have it come out at a special time, which, hey, I'm all for that.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering because a lot of times I don't catch the episodes, when they air, because I had to get up. I'm already asleep. I have to get up in the morning for work, so I usually catch the shows a few days after. But usually watch it the day after it airs, or 2 days after. But I always watch it. I don't watch it like when it's up, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see the next episode, what effed up stuff they'll come out with. They had human centipedes. They had just brain tumors coming out of people, with butcher, and farm animals, eating each other and killing people, and then Frenchie's line delivery of he's in no shape to fuck a sheep. So who knows what new episode of The Boys this week will have will have in store, because Jesus Christ, like,
And then
yeah.
was it Giancarlo's back too? So that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that, again, like, good show. Very excited. I'm strapped in, as they say. I'm strapped into the show, and interesting to see what happens. So, let me stop the screen cap here. So we gotta talk about Dr. Disrespect.
All right.
Oof. This whole thing with Dr. Disrespect started in 2017 when he one second when he was just ousted from Twitch. He was a big Twitch streamer, and yeah, and it was a lot of questions about that, his departure from Twitch, and then he became a YouTube partner, and he was streaming exclusively on there. And then stuff came out to why he was banned and kicked off from Twitch, which is to me I'm not, stuff is coming out. I'm not the one to, I try not to jump the gun, because it's very easy how fast information comes out, and by the time a retraction comes out, forget about it. Like, the original report is already out there. People are taking that as is. But we'll read here. Let's see. Dr. Disrespect's Twitch ban scandal gets even worse in new report. And this is by the Gaming Bible. Given the allegations against Dr. Disrespect, this always felt like it would be a bigger story. However, few probably expected it will get they expected to get the scandalous. 3 days ago, I wrote an article about the ex-Twitch streamer addressing allegations made by a former Twitch employee. Since then, the story has snowballed, with even more disturbing details coming to light.
Now that we're at the stage where DrDisRespect has stepped back from streaming indefinitely, his co-founded studio has dropped him, and his fans are throwing out their costumes. And then this is his tweet here. Was a lot is long, but
Oh,
one of the things that was interesting that it had a minor in the tweet, and then since you're X Premium, you're able to edit your tweets within an hour of you posting it. So it was edited out, and then it was edited back in. So to me, that doesn't do him any favors for him doing that. That makes him, guilty in the court of public opinion, of course. And it basically says here, let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything I can be upfront about. I'm always willing to accept responsibility. And it goes on from there. But the fact that he did that wasn't, he edited and, edited again wasn't a good look. And we'll get the audience will get our thoughts on this, but let me read a little bit more. And then there's a tweet that someone put out that may have Twitch doing an op, because to me the reason why this is just so puzzling to me is like, he has a family, he has a wife, a daughter. He has a very successful, Twitch, YouTube stream. He co-founded a gaming company. Why would you throw that away to talk to a minor or communicate with a minor or think about doing something with a minor? So that's my main thing before I jump to conclusions, before I grab my pitchfork and join up with everyone. That's my thing. And Twitch, they had this feature called the Whispers on Twitch. They since got rid of it. Ironically, around the same time this all happened, and around the same time with DrDisRespect being banned off Twitch, and he was paid out. So that's the other thing. If there was any suspicion of wrongdoing, you immediately contact the authorities, get them involved. But that didn't happen. They paid him off, so who knows? Anyway, a new report claimed that DrDisRespect continually inappropriately messaging a minor despite learning that they were underage. This directly contradicts the claims the streamer made. Earlier this week, the YouTuber made controversial statements, which he admitted his actions, but stated nothing untoward happened yet. This report challenges that defense. The Rolling Stone report says that per the statement of the former Twitch safety employee, quote, I recall that DrDisRespect was made aware that the individual that they were underage during the conversation. After which he initiated that this was no problem and continue on, end quote. There's no confusion. Messages sent after this was acknowledged were no less graphic and sexual in nature. No less graphic and in sexually explicit nature than before, end quote. Their words continue. As for misconduct across Twitch platform, that is too darker than first thought. Further down in the report, it discussed how the response team was created to tackle all allegations made, not just those involving DrDisRespect. I'm gonna start right here. So it's interesting that they're going hard on DrDisRespect. Meanwhile, there's so much stuff that goes on Twitch that they claim that gets investigated, but let's be honest here, they don't. With all the hot tub streams of all the stuff, basically softcore porn on Twitch. And listen, go on OnlyFans and do that. Go on all these camming sites to do that. Don't do that on Twitch where there are young kids on Twitch. We know this because Fortnite, PUBG, Roblox, those are like the 3 games on top of my head that kids play. And they stream it and they watch it, they view it. So it's like, come on now, all this they're basically trying to cover their ass.
Right.
And to me, I'm not jumping to conclusions. Because again, what his statement didn't do him any favors. So then we're gonna go here. We're gonna share. We're gonna share this, and we're gonna keep tabs on this story because it's just so weird. This is so weird to me. Like this came out, I was like, here we go again. Here we go again. So this tweet posted by where's my mouse cursor? Okay. This tweet by The Legal Mindset. As I've discussed repeatedly, particularly on my fantastic stream with this person here, Twitch has some liability as they settled and paid DrDisRespect. We just aren't clear on the exact nature of the scope of the Twitch liability. The quote Twitch minor bait theory is just one of many possibilities, but it cannot be dismissed yet. And this screenshot here from Call of Shame. Breaking news confirmed DrDisRespect was reported by Twitch to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children when they were legally recording whispers by the doc back in 2017. A full investigation was authorized and no wrongdoing was found and no legal activity took place by DrDisRespect. No arrests were made, no charges were filed, thus adding more weight that DrDisRespect is innocent as this is indeed looking like a witch hunt by the ex-Twitch employees to frame DrDisRespect. Unconfirmed, because this is the part that's unconfirmed. It is also reported that quote-unquote minor was actually a former Twitch employee pretending to be a 17-year-old girl and trying to bait DrDisRespect with entrapment techniques while the ex-Twitch mods illegally recorded it all. They were all fired soon after and sued by DrDisRespect's legal team. They are very bitter over this and why this whole thing is coming out for the second time after already been dealt with. So the confirmed part, full investigation was made, it was authorized, no wrongdoing, no illegal activity took place, no arrests, no charges were filed. And it does seem like a witch hunt. But unconfirmed is basically this. But this is the theory that I was mentioning earlier. I think this is plausible because why would any, self-respecting man, family man with a career with a, gaming studio, why would he throw out a way to talk to a minor? Like that's just my thing. Like if it comes out that he did something and he was doing more than what he said he did, then of course, then he should be, prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Obviously, obvious is obvious. But to me, why is this coming out now? Why is this coming out when this has been taken care of? And why did Twitch paid him off? That's the the $100,000 question. I think that these people at Twitch are very just diabolical, to quote Butcher. I think that they're trying to just frame him, ruin him, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't seem like, am I defending him? Like, in the sense, oh, he's innocent. There's a conspiracy, blah blah blah. Like, no, not to that extent. I'm just saying that the math ain't mathing. That there's just something just
Right.
oddly timed with all this.
I,
That's my whole thing. What was you gonna say?
I mean, again, granted, I'm not too familiar with the situation, but like, is it fair to say it's kind of like the Enzo thing, where that woman claimed that he did A, B, C, and D, and WWE just like looked for any reason to fire him.
Yep.
So I don't know. It kind of seems like it's that way because, like, judging by kind of what you just said, and what a lot of people were saying, this guy just seemed like he was a dick anyway, and it almost seems like maybe somebody was just setting him up to just see him fall, just because they don't like him, and not because they actually have proof on him.
Right.
But then again, like you just said, the guy's married and he has kids, and he's rich as fuck off Twitch, and you decide to throw that away to talk to an underage girl. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
press X to doubt. Like
right.
that's just my thing. And again, if it comes out, if Twitch has some magical evidence, then okay. But I don't trust. I do not trust Twitch. I would trust CNN more than I trust Twitch. And that's saying a lot because I don't trust CNN either. But just Twitch's history, and then their the people that they hire there, very liberal, left leaning, and they're just not just overall the best people. And you see how they just let all these other things slide. They will suspend a guy, accidentally, showing like his nipple if he's wearing like a tank top or whatever. But a chick can just be on there naked, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's just like, come on now. Like, you have so many other sites where you can do all that stuff. But to me, it's the main reason why, again, their track record, the main reason why I just do not trust Twitch at all with this, because their track record has shown that they're a bunch of liars and they're petty and they're not to be trusted. If you trust them fully, then you're a fool. But as more news comes out, I mean, we'll see. We'll see this. All this comes out. But to me, it's just pretty bizarre, all this. And then one more thing before we'll go to the next and final segment. It's, to me, it just doesn't add up. It's just that the math ain't mathing. This isn't adding up. Like, why would he throw this away? He has a family, has a daughter, a wife. He has a gaming studio. He's successful. So to me, there's got to be someone at Twitch that's petty, that doesn't like him, and just drudges all this shit up. Because Twitch has some, like mentioned in this post here, that Twitch has some liability, because they recorded those conversations without consent. And if they were trying to entrap DrDisRespect, then they definitely have a case. And all the other stuff mentioned, they fired all the the staff and all that, blah blah blah. So it's just, to me, it just doesn't add up. Like, this is just very, very nasty. But we just gotta wait and see as time progresses, because, like, holy crap, like, what
2024 is very. It's a lot of news, very interesting. But yeah, when it's all said and done, truth will come out, and we'll be here to report, you know, all this and give our take on all this because this is very bizarre, very very bizarre. And finally, we will talk about who killed WCW.
Mhm.
So we saw me and Drew both saw the the TV series, the 4-part documentary on Vice. And shout outs to those people who uploaded the other episodes onto YouTube because yeah, I saw the first episode on Vice, Vice TV's YouTube channel, but then the other 3 episodes weren't available. So, shout outs to people on YouTube on there. And I thought it was pretty interesting getting the takes of like, The Rock, uh Kevin Nash. Like Kevin Nash is so chill.
I
And
think he was high in that area. I
I
heard he was
think
actually like, yeah.
I think so too. I wouldn't I wouldn't put it past him. Booker T was just it was patient, zen. It was zen like normally we'll see him on TV on NXT television, and he's just all over the place. Of course, I mean when you see Lola Vice come out,
Mm.
of course it
Duggy,
sets in.
duggy, quack, quack. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about, do you, kid?
Of course. Um but yeah, like it was pretty cool like getting that like you just getting that like each person's point of view. But the other thing I noticed is that of course everyone pointing the finger, everyone blaming the other person. And it's not just one person who killed WCW. It was many different factors that went to cause WCW's demise. And to me, um, who I think killed, uh, who I think killed WCW was just the factor that uh, Jamie
Counter.
Kellner, dude, canceled it. And if we look up, even on Google, it says it here. We got the audio tape of Bischoff openly hoping that he will get 100 weeks of ratings wins, and he was told it was done. He figured it was the deal, only to learn that Jamie Kellner canceled Nitro, thus ending WCW. Like that was one of the contributing factors. The other contributing factor is the fact that Ted Turner did the first merger with Turner Broadcasting, and you know had that first merger, and he lost more power. Then things became tense. Then the second merger, forget about it. When LL Time Warner merger happened, that was over because he even had less power. And Jimmy Kellner, that it was just, and especially when the amount like it's kind of correlation to AEW. I mean, yeah, we're bringing up AEW, but just the big money contracts. Uh, that was like one of the things. Just the amount of money that they were losing, like towards the end. Bringing in, just bringing in, Hogan and all these other people, and giving Hogan creative control, not doing business. That also affected WCW. Um, Bischoff not handling, like not just he kept going
and he kept going back to the well, like, oh, NWO, when Hogan. It's like, you got a plethora of talent, and what are you doing? Like, they just meandering in the middle of the card, and they should be elevated higher. And then, of course, Vince Russo. he was
Bro.
yeah, he said, bro. There's someone tweeted about it. He said, bro, like, I believe like over 100 times. I was like, Jesus Christ, man.
I mean, what you gotta give, I'll give Vince Russo credit. Like, he at least believes what he's saying, and
Yeah,
he's consistent with it. Like, just,
yeah,
I mean, the whole story with Hogan at Bash at the Beach, and the David Arquette thing. Um, he's consistent with it. He's like, David Arquette is bigger than most of the talent today. But then for him to be like, I can say this with confidence, bro. I'm probably more over and more talented than at least 81% of the talent on the roster.
yeah. I
And
heard that, and I was like, yep, he definitely believed that.
just, I don't know. This whole show was just like, it was kind of deliciously bad.
Yeah,
Where like the whole show is basically just everybody angry, like everybody that's a millionaire complaining about everything that happened in WCW. At the end of the day, Bret Hart's still a millionaire. I mean, granted, he retired in a way that we didn't want him to, but
yeah,
still a millionaire. Goldberg is proven that he's a fucking chode.
yep.
Basically doing the whole, oh, you mean I wasn't supposed to actually hurt people in the ring? Oh, it's like, yeah, Goldberg, it's fucking fake. You're a mark. Shut up. Or I still would have been over if I was undefeated. It's like, oh god, you fucking suck.
Yeah,
Brett
it
was
was
right about
rough.
you the whole time.
Yeah,
Ke-
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Kevin Nash being like, yeah, with all the shit that happened, my paycheck never changed. Like,
Yep.
I'm just like Kevin's just like, I guess I still got paid.
Yeah.
Didn't affect my pay. Kevin didn't care. Bischoff, just I kind of do feel sorry for Bischoff because that was his baby, and eventually he just had it taken away from him. Booker T was the only positive one.
Yeah,
Like Booker T,
was really cool in this.
yeah, like when they talked about the eventual like invasion angle, like everybody else didn't want to come. Like everybody else had contracts and they're getting paid. Like Goldberg was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay home and get paid. So whatever. Like Booker T, like almost stayed home. Like his brother Stevie Ray was trying to convince him to stay home and get paid, but Booker was like, nah, I actually want to work. So good for Booker. Yeah, just after this, it's just like throw this with Benoit, throw this with the Montreal Screwjob, with stories in wrestling I never want to hear about again.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about the Montreal Screwjob. That was a work. Like, I'm sorry, but it was a work.
I believe that. Yeah.
The Benoit thing, I've heard so many different stories, and at the end of the day, it's still tragic. Doesn't change what happened. Doesn't change the fact that two innocent people lost their lives, and doesn't change the fact that Benoit was a murderer. You can say roid rage. You can say whatever.
CTE,
people can keep CTE. Like, granted, maybe it probably was CTE, but he still took the lives of his son and wife when he could have easily just killed himself, and that would have been less tragic. But whatever. And you still have marks online saying he should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. And it's like, no, he shouldn't at all.
Yeah, I just don't pay attention to those people because, what happened was just awful. But you can like Benoit for his in-ring stuff, but the human, the actions that the human being behind that, behind that character, that you can't excuse that. It's just unforgivable. There's some things in life, ladies and gentlemen, that are just unforgivable, and you got to learn. In many cases, you separate, the person from the character, but it just some things are just unforgivable at the end of the day. And
Mhm.
yeah, um, yeah, this to me, I found it entertaining because you know, A was like a throwback. I love like history documentaries and whatnot, and love wrestling. But also, it was like you said, deliciously bad. It was lethargic. Excuse me, cathartic. Um, for me to watch this, and it's like everyone's blaming. Mostly, everyone is blaming the other person. No accountability taken. But it's just like it's what happens when you have uh just poor leadership and you had something that could have been, and if the right business choices in hindsight were taken, WCW could have still been around. But it's not. The choices were made. All we can do is use this as a textbook example of what not to do when running a business, wrestling company, etc. That's all we can do from this because things are already new. Some things were revealing, but that's like maybe like 5-10% of that. But we knew the other 95-90% of why WCW went out of business, who killed it. And it's unfortunate, but boils down. It's just like we got this documentary. It's deliciously uh terrible. It's cathartic.
Right.
uh but we can move on. I mean, I will love in a few years we'll probably get who killed AEW. That that is where the money is. That's what I want to see in 2026, 2027.
Can we have Bret Hart on that too, just to have him shit on everybody?
Oh, please, please, yeah, because he
It's
was great.
Like Bret, you weren't even in AEW. I don't care. They're all idiots. The downfall of AEW was when you decide to put the title on Shane McMahon.
Yeah. Oh. Oh Lord. I
And then just have the Young Bucks come on. What really happened with the CM Punk thing was, we were trying to talk to him, and then Phil got too belligerent, and he threw a punch at me, and then he threw a punch at Nick, and he threw a punch at old Kenny. But yeah. Oh God, I hate talking like that. Fucking Nick. Oh, one of the fucking Jacksons, one of the Buckaroos, whatever you want to call them.
yeah.
Just with their was it voiceover sounds like they have to take a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Punk was yeah. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. That I would like to see um essentially because it's a lot of parallels with AEW and WCW. A lot of parallels. So it's very interesting that we have um this documentary come out when it did, especially when the ratings for AEW are low. We still don't know like the TV deals being renewed. The interest for the show, for the product, for the company is at all time low. And at a time where they're signing all these, all the talent in the world and it's still not moving the needle. It's actually, I mean, the needle is moving, but it's moving the other way. And that's why it's kind of interesting that we're getting that we got this 4-part documentary series with who killed WCW, and it's like, I mean, put them side by side, and it's not that different. It's
Yep.
similar path, similar trajectory, similar business decisions, and to me, like it's like is the saying goes, history, with history, we're doomed to repeat it. Is people refuse to learn from it, and it's like we're seeing that in real time. It's crazy because when WCW was around, we were young, so we didn't understand the gravity of WCW and how huge of an impact that left, that void that was left in the world of wrestling. And now we're kind of seeing that in real time. And me, I don't want it to go out of business. I want it to succeed, but sometimes for people to get the head out of their asses, they have to go. They got to go through it. They got to go through the trials and tribulations because they're not heeding the warnings and taking the advice and the constructive criticism while you still can save it. Like, it's still, the iceberg hasn't hit it yet. You can still turn around. But no, it's just all full steam ahead. Everything is fine. Everything's dandy. And that's like the main issue that I have, because in a world, we need more wrestling companies. We need that strong number two. There's nothing wrong with being number two. As long as you're number one in what you're doing in your market, I think that being a number two isn't bad. Like, you want to be the best, but there's no way that AEW is going to be WWE. Is just like, forget about it. But yeah, any closing thoughts?
I got nothing.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, but guys, definitely check out the documentary on Vice if you haven't had a chance to check it out. It's a four-part series. You can check it out on YouTube. Just search Who Killed WCW. It's 4 episodes. Check it out. Have a laugh, because it's a lot of funny moments in there. But definitely check that out, and check out The Boys. If you guys so inclined, definitely check out The Boys, season 4. And if you haven't watched The Boys at all, watch all the way back from season 1 to get caught up, because it's it's seriously effed up. It's seriously effed up. Let's see here. Yeah, we are gonna take the show home. I am hot in my room. I have all the fans off, windows closed. So yeah, we're gonna take this home. It's sizzling in here. Yeah, appreciate you, Drew, coming on. I know we were supposed to do the show a few weeks back, but it's been been a crazy month of June, but July is literally like right around the corner. Tell the people what you got going on.
So there's The Experience, which is every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central Time on Wrestling Soup's Discord. We just did a show yesterday. It was our Q&A, because we didn't do a Wednesday show, because Wednesday was me and the wife were celebrating our 12-year anniversary. So we just skipped Wednesday and just did the Saturday Q&A. And, so it was roughly an hour. So
okay,
it was a pretty fun show, until the very end, which I won't get into right now. Yeah, someone was kind of being a little smart ass, but I'll just keep that down.
Okay.
This Wednesday, I'm not sure if there's going to be a show.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure if I'm going to be here in town.
Okay.
So we're going to try and shuffle around a day, because I don't just want to cancel another show. I still want to do a show.
Yeah.
We just need to find a day to do it. But yeah, for the most part, it's every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central Time, right after AEW Dynamite. I do it with Justin. Justin is a good friend of mine, and he has his own wrestling store here in San Antonio called Spinebuster Tees, which has everything you need as a fan. It has action figures, it has collectibles, it has Funko Pops, it has socks, it has hats. It doesn't have CM Punk the movie, unfortunately. So sorry, guys. He also has old school wrestling magazines. So if you're into that, and if you can't make the trip to San Antonio, he has an online store, spymastertees.com, and then you can essentially, or not essentially, but you can pretty much get everything I just mentioned. And oh yeah, me and our good a fellow New Yorker, kind of like Ruben here. Me and RJ the Brooklyn Savage, we have our show that used to kind of like this show, which used to be on Patreon. It's now public. Revenge of the Savage Nerds. I've been putting out older episodes. I've been kind of lacking lately, but I just recently put on an old episode, which you can listen to now. And I will be actually I scheduled to put out another episode on Wednesdays, so just in time for 4th of July. And me and Jeff Lippman, I'll eventually be putting out old episodes of our Patreon show, Garden of Drew. And next Sunday, me and him will be covering, or we'll be doing a post show for NXT Heatwave. We actually did do a NXT post show for Battleground. So yeah, because me in the past, me and Jeff, we used to do post shows for NXT Takeover shows. So we're gonna see if we can go back doing that. So yeah, next week NXT Heatwave, me and Jeff will be covering it. Yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much everything going on in my neck of the woods. And follow me on DY Experience on Twitter.
Excellent. And of course, you can follow me on X, on Twitter, at Mr. Ruben Prime. Last week, I was on the King's Council. My good friends over there. We talked about E3. Not E3. I wish. We talked about Nintendo Direct. Nintendo had a Direct on Tuesday, and not this Tuesday, but previous one, and we discussed everything that Nintendo presented on their Direct. And of course, they finally showed a trailer for Metroid Prime 4, which is now called Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. So we're beyond patient with this game, and it's finally out. Like we've, our patience has, we've been patient, and it paid off. And I'm so glad that it's a thing. It's not a meme. We've been memed to death with Metroid Prime 4 is never coming out. And we discussed that. We discussed all the other games that were showcased on the Direct. And definitely check out the King's Council with my boys, Super Freak 187, which is the brainchild of the King's Council, Follow Your Dreams, Despair, and Cosmic Kaiser 6, and Kid Crazy. Like, all those guys are awesome, and it was dope being on there, just talking shop, talking Metroid. So if you want to listen to yours truly talk video games, talk Metroid, please check out the King's Council if you so please. And yeah, we got this episode that will be uploaded in a day or so. Trying to do another episode to talk about all the other stuff and whatever is breaking. Like, can never like keep up with everything, but we're trying our best, and trying to keep the TikTok and the YouTube filled with content. So that's definitely the plan, as always. So definitely check us out, Culture Attack, on YouTube, on TikTok, and on Spotify, and on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. Same difference. So with that being said, that's it. We're out. We'll see you guys next time, Lord willing, very, very soon, right here on Culture Attack. Later, guys. Peace.
Peace.